The technical analysis of a project idea includes designing the various processes, installing equipment, specifying material, and prototype testing. The project manager has to be careful in finalizing the technical aspects of the project as the decision is irreversible and the investments involved may be very high. The project manager has to select the technology required in consultation with technical experts and consultants. In the modern world, because of rapid development of industries, pollution has reached alarming proportions. There are various factors like government regulations and pressure from consumers, local people, and investors, which force the firm to act in a more environment-friendly manner. Therefore, location of the project, type of technology to be used, method of effluent disposal, and are decided only after taking these factors into consideration. Technical analysis is done continuously when a project is being formulated. Technical analysis is concerned with material and inputs, production technology, choice of technology, product mix, plant capacity, location, machinery and equipment, structure and civil works, project charts and layouts. Financial also Financial analysis also creeps into to look at the operating cost, operating revenue and capital cost. The purpose of financial analysis is to find out whether the project is attractive enough to secure funds needed for its various constituent activities, and once having secured the funds, whether the project will be able to generate enough economic value to achieve the objectives for which it is sought to be implemented. The future of a company depends on the manager's ability to decide relevant financial data with a view to profitable planning. A financial statement reveals less than it conceals. It provides the indicators of performance of the enterprise during the year. The various aspects of a technical analysis, as I have elaborated earlier also: selection of process, scale of operations, raw material, technical know-how, collaborative agreements, product mix, selection and procurement of machinery, plant layout, and location of the projects. Let's discuss all of them one by one. Selection of process technology. The choice of technology is influenced by a variety of considerations. Those considerations can be pointed out as principal inputs. The choice of technology depends on principal inputs available for the project. In some cases, the raw material available influences the technology chosen. For example, the quality of limestone determines whether the wet or dry process should be used for a cement plant. It may be emphasized that a technology based on indigenous inputs may be preferable to one based on input because of uncertain characterizing imports, particularly in a country like India. The investment outlay and production cost also affects the choice of technology. The effect of alternative technology of investment outlay and production cost over a period of time should be carefully assessed. The technology adopted must be proven successfully used by other units, preferably in the country where the project is going to be installed. Product mix also takes a large portion of the consideration because technology chosen must be such that the total product mix generated by it is cost effective and sellable. Latest development in technology must be such that either the existing technology or installed technology is adaptive to all those latest developments, or the project is going to be using only the latest development or recently developed technology to be used in the product development for future purposes. Ease of operation is something which is very important because the ease of operation actually ensures the smooth logistics. It ensures the products or raw material or finished goods are moved within the plant and outside the plant with considerable ease. The scale of operations Basically signifies many things: plant size, economic size of the plant, operations, operating costs as a function of the plant size, promoters' ability to raise the funds required to implement the project, performance of existing units operating at below economic size. In the project appraisal, scale of operations is signified by the size of the plant. Economic size of the plant for a given project can be arrived at by an analysis of capital and operating cost as a function of the plant size. If the size of the proposed project is below the economic size, means it must be analyzed carefully as to whether the project will survive at the proposed size or not. Performance of existing units operating at a below economic size will throw some light on these aspects. Discussion about raw material is basically warrants the detailed specifications, preferably including any industrial standards of raw material required by a unit and the ABC analysis of these raw materials needed to be done. So, identification of alternative raw materials, alternative processes, cost of different raw materials, if the product can be used using the alternative raw materials with alternative processes or not. The process of manufacturing may also vary sometimes with the raw material chosen. So identification of indigenous and imported raw materials is also required. The manufacturing process machinery requirements can be used up to a large extent based upon the requirement or the type of the raw material. Regarding technical know-how, the unit might require transfer of technical know-how or services of technical and specialized personnel for the manufacturing process to maintain the quality and meet global competition. For this, predetermined contracts and finalization of terms even before the commencement of the project at the conceptualization stage is necessary. The type and duration of the technical arrangement and the nature of extent of training and development activities needs to be examined before entering into contract, as this has final impact on the project. When technical know-how for the project is provided by expert consultants, it must be ascertained whether these consultants have the requisite knowledge or not. Self-styled, unexperienced consultants should be avoided. Agreement should be very specific, and agreement should also include the penalty clause for non-performance of any conditions. Collaboration agreements. A project collaboration agreement is a contract between two or more companies for the completion of a particular project. A project collaboration agreement documents the contribution of each party to the project and sets out the terms of collaboration between the parties, including each party's obligation, the project funding, the treatment of confidential information, and how the collaboration can be terminated. Collaboration agreements allow the businessman to expand their client base and tap into new markets by partnership with other organizations and can address skill resource gaps. The competence and reputation of the collaborators needs to be ascertained through possible sources, including the embassies or bankers. The technology proposed to be imported should suit the local conditions. The agreement should have necessary approval of the government, and there should not be any restrictive clause in the agreement that import of the equipment machinery required for the project should not be or should be channelized through certain collaborators. Customers differ in their needs and preferences. Hence, the product mix decision regarding a project is an important part of technical analysis. It is essential to choose an effective product mix as different customers have different tastes, preferences, and needs. The choice of product mix is usually guided by the market requirements. A project manager must keep in mind the quality of products and the flexibility in production while taking care of the product mix decisions. Flexibility in production decisions is actually a very important part because though demand forecasting is usually done, but there is never a guarantee regarding 100% conversion of forecasted demand into a reality. That's why a plant should have or the project should have the leverage to manage or handle the variations in the demand. The arrangement should provide a clause that any dispute arising out of the interpretation of the agreement, failure to comply with the clause contained in the agreement, shall be decided only by the courts within the country of jurisdiction. Selection and procurement of plant and machinery has a major impact on the project. The major factors regarding the selection of industrial locations can be enumerated as 1. Market, 2nd. Material supply, 3rd. Transportation, 4th. Labor, 5th. Capital, 6th. Government planning, and 7. Any other considerations which are incumbent. And last but not the least, the human factor. The pattern of industrial location in Asia, as indeed elsewhere also, can be better understood if we analyze the factors that are responsible for the execution of manufacturing activity. It is perhaps possible to recognize several of these individually, such as market, transportation, supply of materials, labor, capital cost, or the role of government, and above all, the human factor that finally decides the precise location of individual manufacturing plants. But all these factors are interactive and almost never operate singly or separately. Although any one of the more important ones can be taken care by analyzing and understanding the complexity of operation that identifies or defines the special factors of the industries. Machinery equipment required for the project depends upon the production technology. Capacity of each machinery should be decided by making a rough estimate of the output plan. Machine hours required for each type of operations and machine capacity after giving us the allowances for machinery maintenance and breakdowns. Procurement of machinery is basically very subjective to time, country, economic conditions, geography, and a number of factors. But plant and machinery is the backbone of any industry. The quality of output depends on the quality of machinery used in the processing of raw material. And uninterrupted process production is again required to keep the balanced supply to the market, and it can be ensured only with the high quality of machines so that breakdowns don't occur very often. Hence, the quality of machinery to be procured has to be done with a very astute eye. The performance of the machinery functioning elsewhere may be studied to have the first information regarding the performance of the machinery and before deciding upon the machine supplier. Layout locations should be such that it should always have the scope for future expansions. Layout should facilitate supervision. It should minimize the pollution, and there should be enough clearance to provide adequate or block-free logistics within the plant for the raw material or the goods in process. Layout should offer maximum safety to the person working in the plant also. Locations of projects is done by taking by considering many factors. But normally the location of the plant is decided in two phases. First is the region and territory chosen because the most important thing regarding selection of a project location is that we have to identify the opportunity cost. If the opportunity cost of a location is high, that simply means the profitability budget is going to go down. So opportunity cost has to be lowest, and the location should be such that access to market, access to raw material, access to labor, access to any number of infrastructure facilities should be easier and cost effective. Regional factors actually are decided by the raw material, proximity to market, availability of labor, availability of supporting industries, all those things. So let's move on to location of projects that we have done already. Project scheduling is something which warrants a logical sequence of events as following points are highlighting: land acquisition, site development, building plant estimates, design, getting necessary approvals, and entrusting the construction work of contractors. Construction of building, machinery foundation, other related civil works, and completion of the same. Placing order for machinery and receipt of machinery at the site. Then installation of machinery and commissioning of the plant and taking the trial runs. Thank you.